Hi everyone, welcome to the stream. It has been a crazy one because I've been struggling with Unreal all day. Fem is here with me as always. Yes, so this one is a big one because we had, of course, a huge surge of new interest in SunnySide, thanks to DoctorDDub. Been a crazy week, especially in the last 7 days, because of course game dev is when everything comes together in the last minute. First of all, we have a new soundtrack. In fact, not just one but 4 of them. You guys heard one in the intro. Basically that was the Hangout theme, and it's not the only Hangout theme. Of course, we have so far we've planned about 5 or 6 of them. So there's like a sad one, there's a happy one, there's a funny one. We have a new seasonal track set, which is for summer. So we have the whole summer track for day and summer theme for night. So before we get into the meat of the actual game, I wanted to introduce a few new members in our team. Our team at RainyGames is really growing, actually, really quickly. You guys have already met Ren. He streamed making a chicken the other day on Discord, which you guys should join if you haven't. I'm sure you'll have though. He's a generalist that has joined our project. Basically, generalist means he will dabble into everything that the project might need. But mostly he's currently doing modeling. So we have another generalist. His name is Ken. He's working on the crops and stuff. He is also working on some of the enemies in the game that you will see with the battle system. Again, more on that later.
I would like to quickly point out that our modelers are named Ken and Ren. And then our character modeler is Alan. And I love it.
We have a animal concept artist. Her name is Lily. She is basically outlines all these animals that Ren will model. Those chunky chickens and chunky cows were her concepts to begin with, and then Ren turned them into 3D models. She has a bachelor's in wildlife ecology, and and a certified graphic designer. So that's great. We have a really interesting role that I'm so proud to say is part of our team. Dante is a linguist, and you might wonder why we have a linguist, because we have our own language in the game and in the lore of the game, and this language is being designed by a linguist, and we literally have a font for it that you can write in. The grammar is very different to English, but we're hoping that after release some people will get on it and try to translate it. That's always so much fun to watch. And then lastly, we have Cherry. She's a volunteer modeler. She's currently working on our crops and stuff. We also have another really exciting partnership with our consultant that is helping us with lots of amazing in-depth detail of all of our crops. That's how we can get it so realistic. He's quite a big deal, but we're not going to mention him today because it's going to be announced later. But he's our consultant on all of those stuff. Big, huge shout out to DoctorDDub for covering out SunnySide about 2 weeks ago. To be honest with you, I'm just going to be straight up with you guys. We were expecting maybe 3,000 to 4,000 views on that video, and it is currently at about 113,000 last time I checked. Oh, really? Okay, almost 125,000 views. And that was crazy. Like, not just the views, but going through the comments. Every time, honestly, I get a little bit doubtful towards the project, I go ahead and read those comments, and I see so many people being so excited about the game. And every one of you guys give us so much energy with the stuff you say about the game, and not just the nice stuff, even the critical stuff. We really appreciate everything. That shows how much care and passion there is for a project that is not even nearly finished yet. So I just wanted to give you guys a big thank you for giving us so much energy to continue on from everybody at the team, honestly. Of course that video made us quite a bit of money, so of course, the money we raised on Kickstarter was not nearly enough for a project of this size. That's why we were approaching publishers and whatnot. But we managed to raise enough to keep us afloat on a really good, high standard until our publisher deals are sealed.
Yeah, especially publishing deals take a little bit longer than even I was prepared for. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who has pre-ordered. There's a huge risk when you pre-order a game, and especially if you like pre-order the early access stuff. So we really appreciate all you guys who are taking that risk, believe in us, are willing to toss a little money our way. You know, it's not, sometimes it feels like, you know, oh, game developers are getting greedy or something, but really we just want to pay our team. So thank you.
So we have a new Twitter account. Last announcement of the day, trust me. It's called SunnySide. It's already getting so much traction. I'm kind of jealous from RainyGames perspective, to be honest, because it took so long to grow that one. But then Fem one day was like, oh, let's make a new Twitter account for the game. And then now it already has so much more likes and stuff. Anyway, it's great.
I'm working hard over here, dude.
You guys should definitely follow it if you want to help us grow that one. It's at SunnySide. Very easy to remember. Lore stuff. So our demo, story, and dialogue is being finalized. And basically what that means is the demo we're going to be sending to the streamers in August is going to have some amount of story in it. Of course, SunnySide's core gameplay mechanic is the social sim. So we're finalizing that story, the cutscenes, the events, and everything that's supposed to happen in between. We are using a system called ArcWeave, if I pronounced that correct. Yep. And it is a node-based dialogue planner. So basically our writers, Kitty and Fem herself, they can go ahead and write dialogue outside of Unreal, and then we will implement it later in Unreal. Just a little announcement about that, because it's just help us accelerate the project. It's pretty cool.
It's cool.
If any of you indie devs out there are looking for a dialogue system to plan out your dialogue before actually implementing it, ArcWeave is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Finally, battle system I wanted to talk about. So we have toyed with this idea quite a lot. Originally, I wanted to go for more of a Zelda-like battle system, like a real-time situation. But looking at the way SunnySide is being developed, the whole theme of the game, the whole genre of the game, we realized that real-time fighting is really not a good fit. And to be honest, the reason I was going with that was that because every other farming game does it. SunnySide is going to have a turn-based battle system, very similar to games like Chrono Trigger or Persona, of course, being a huge inspiration for the whole game. The battle system is going to feature some really interesting options for you to approach. It's not just going to be about, killing your target or whatever. And it's going to be very, very, very weaved into the whole story of the game. So it's not just going to be there. There's not going to be just a cave and a bunch of monsters in it to make it difficult. We're not going to be lazy about it. We're going to go all the way in. There is a reason you're fighting these things. And that reason is the whole main arc of the game, which you can finish. And there is a credit that will roll. We'll still let you play probably afterwards, but there's a whole story that is coming to fruition. We're working on it. Every day we are brainstorming, we're adding bits to it, and I think the story is getting really, really fully realized at this point. And I can't wait for you guys to play the game and go through the main story of the game and really, truly enjoy it. And I really hope that we can execute it well.
And just a little shout out to Kitty. She was kind of brought on originally as our writer, but she has stepped into a huge and unappreciated role, which is systems designer. So she is now, there she is. And oh, hey, there's Lily too, our artist. Hi, Lily. So systems designers help us make sure everything is balanced. It's all about making spreadsheets and doing math and checking that everything makes sense. She's going to be rebalancing our economic system because it is broken right now. But that also comes down to battle and making sure that the attacks make sense and making sure that the numbers and all that stuff all add up and work. So just want to give her a shout out. It's such a huge part of the game development, and I don't want it to go unnoticed. So
yeah, having a very specialized system designer that only works on that part of the game is honestly invaluable to, especially an indie game, because indie games do suffer a lot from unbalanced economy or unbalanced battle systems and whatnot. So having somebody that can go through these numbers, make crazy spreadsheets that I absolutely hate, is great, honestly. Right. So I think I've talked enough. We are ready to actually jump into the game. I was going to do what is called package the game, so that the game comes in a fully packaged launchable.exe, but of course Unreal hates us, so I couldn't do that. So instead we're going to run the game through the engine. This means the frame rate's going to be a bit slower because one, I'm doing a window capture in OBS, but two, the game is running on top of Unreal itself, so keep that in mind. Yes, so I restarted it just so that you guys can see it again. So yeah, the first thing that we have is a completely new menu. And you know, actually, one funny thing is that the reason I'm gonna go crazy over menus is a game that you guys will probably mostly not expect, but it's Metro Exodus and Metro, the other entries. They always have crazy, great looking main menus. And you know, whenever I played those games, I was like, when I make a game, I'm gonna make the main menu look so sick. So here we go. Again, Persona as well, of course, is another.
So I want to point out, I was working my butt off last night and this morning and all day today. If you look underneath Rainy's screen on Twitch, you will see it says that he is playing SunnySide. We've gotten the game added to Twitch. We're just waiting on the menu art. It's going to take a little bit of time because I have to go through a few more approvals, but I'm just really proud and I had to point that out.
So the next thing we wanted to go over is the character creator. There's not much, but I wanted to go over it, especially because we have new viewers and lots of questions in the comment section of that DoctorDDub's video. So if you press new game, we'll go to the character creator. Here we go. So there's tiny differences. We have a different theme playing. So it's actually our town theme that is playing this time. It's a different arrangement of it. Yeah, you have all these hair options to use here, of course. Nothing new. You have your color wheel, you have your secondary color that you can choose. But there's something I'm really proud of. Let's click on one of these and see what will happen to the music. It wasn't a good time to do that because there was not much drums going on anyway. But basically, the idea is that the music gets more complete the more you go through the character creator. So let's try it again. Yeah, and I got inspired to do this from Sims 4, really. We're going to do more levels. It's not just going to be the drums. So the more you go through the character creator, the more I guess. But this isn't really important in terms of the actual game, of course, but because SunnySide is all about the details, I thought I would mention it because it's just something that really gets me excited. So what I wanted to address now are some common questions. First of all, this body type is going to go away. Basically, this body type currently has two options of feminine and it's, you know, it's going to be masculine. But that was before, when we had the idea of going with two different types of bodies. We're not going to do that anymore. It's scrapped. We're going to go with something revolutionary in this genre, at least to my knowledge. If other games have done it, kudos to them. Basically, instead of there being two different models of female and male, there is going to be one model for the character, and that model is going to morph into a neutral body, a feminine body, and a masculine body, depending on where you put this slider. This slider doesn't function at the moment because we don't have that model in the game. But once that model is there, then you can put this slider anywhere and the model will morph into that. Imagine a height slider, but much more extreme. That actually changes the shape of your body. Of course, the reason we're going for it is inclusivity. We want to give so much more options to people to be themselves, because it's a life sim. You want to try to be yourself, or a perfect version of yourself. That's what I usually do anyway. So lots of people love to roleplay, lots of people love to be themselves, and as many options as you have, the better. Another reason for it is not just to give you guys a fluid gender system, but even if you just want to be a binary girl or a boy, you still have the option to be a tomboyish girl or a really girly girl. Or you have the option to be a really masculine dude or a more feminine looking dude. You know, it's really a system that is. Fem said something really cool in our publisher hangouts that we had. She said that it's a system that is inclusive without excluding anybody. So no matter, yeah, I really loved that. That was really good. It's a system that doesn't. Gives you as many options as possible without forcing anything on you. And the clothes work the same way. So every bit of clothing in the game follows the same slider. And that means we don't have really, honestly, gender specific clothes. Of course, we have clothes that are more commonly worn by men or women, like, I don't know, like coats or dresses, right? But you can still, if you're still a masculine character, you can put a dress on if you want. And that dress will fit on your body because it's following the same slider on your body. And yeah, that means you have all the clothing options no matter where on the scale you are. You can wear whatever you want.
We have they, them pronouns. So to be honest, we're not going to have any pronouns. Essentially, we're going back and forth between, do we want you to just type in whatever you want or to just eliminate all pronouns completely? We're probably going to get some more community feedback before we make a decision, but pronouns are one of those things that they make sense in English, but in a lot of other languages, they just don't translate very well. So from that perspective, it's just kind of a good idea to get rid of them. But then from other perspectives, again, we're talking about inclusivity and things like that. So we're still bopping around, but I can say absolutely for certain, there will be no drop-down menu or anything like that for you to choose one specifically. It'll either be your choice from your own imagination or nothing at all. So
yeah, so basically it's either we're going to write the game in a way that, you know, the pronouns are really never mentioned, it's just names that are mentioned, right? Especially for your main character. It's really not that common for you to hear NPCs talking about you and saying he or she, even just looking at other social sims. Another question that lots of people asked was that, can I change my skin color? Of course you can change your skin color. We will add another slider that you can do that. There will probably be a few swatches, like preset options, but also just a fluid option for you to do that. We're also thinking about the idea, should we allow you to choose, you know, any skin color like green or blue or pink? Not sure on that yet. We'll see. Yeah. You can change your eye color eventually in the final version of this character creator as well. We are going to include way more hair models, way more clothing options, and nothing, as I said, is going to be locked. So nothing is gender specific in terms of clothing or hairstyle. And another thing that I really wanted to talk about was the fact that the hair physics is going to be updated. Currently, we're using something that just allowed us to put the game out there, and we're using cloth simulation on the hair, and it does produce some weird results, especially on a hair like this. It just looks stringy, and it doesn't look that great. So instead of going with this approach, Alan is going to rig every hair model, and it will look a lot better. It'll look a lot more like hair, especially anime hair. It'll have a lot more volume to it. So we're excited to do that as well.
There will be a kind of slider idea to sort of adjust the curves of the body, but they're not going to be body part specific for very specific reasons. Fink said, I think between the two, I'd prefer no pronouns since filling it out could be difficult. Yeah, that's kind of another thing that we're taking into consideration, which is why we're still we haven't fully decided. Will there be unlockable or findable hair options in-game? Yes, we're going to have a hairstylist, so that will be a thing. A heterochromacy for eyes? Maybe?
Yeah, probably, actually.
Probably, yeah.
I really like it. I really like people who have heterochromia in real life, so I think it would be a really cool thing to add to the game. And so, yeah, totally.
Choices of stances?
Yes. No. Yeah.
Okay, definitely.
That's actually,
yes.
That is actually something that I'm actively working on. Because you go on the slider, right? We cannot really decide what animation to give you, so you have an option to choose the stance type that you like. Yeah, that is part of the character creator. Really good question.
And then somebody was talking about dark light slider versus warm cool slider. Basically, yeah, that's how the colors currently work for the hair, so it'll probably be something very similar for the skin, but it'll just be more towards natural tones instead of things like reds and blues. So I'm going to address this real quick. So as far as breast size, hip size, butt size, we are not going to do body sliders for individual portions of the body. What we're going to do instead is we're going to have a hyper feminine body, a hyper masculine body, and the neutral body in the middle. And so when you pull your slider from the hyper feminine more towards the neutral, it's going to, basically the way I've been kind of describing it to people within the team is you start off with the neutral body and then you either add estrogen or you add testosterone. So more estrogen for women in biology means more extreme curves. For men, it means more extreme on the muscles and body shape and things like that. So we're going more that route because we're trying to avoid any kind of like hypersexualization. We just don't want to deal with it. We've had some issues.
Yeah, no boob physics, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, in the entire it's one mega slider. There's been some issues within the whole farming community of some people kind of coming after us about having those body type slider things, and anybody who's been active in the farm sim community is very familiar with this, and so it's something we're just trying to actively avoid while still giving people lots of options. So yes, kind of.
Nice.
But
Animations and emotes and stuff, totally for the multiplayer especially. Curious to know if there will be walking styles, and yes, the stance type that you choose will basically influence all of the animations that you have. So if you have a feminine stance type, the way you walk will also influence that. So the very first thing that we've been working on a lot is something that is on the back end. It's super important to the game. It's the save system of the game. Basically, we've added the autosave feature that saves the game at the start of the day. So the records app, as usual, you can click on it. You will get your character here, and you will get the save down there. It's an autosave, so you can see the autosave. But if you click on this, you can switch the profile. If I click on it, of course, currently I only have one save, so it's just that one. We can delete it from there. But I'm just going to open the folder that these go into to show you guys how we are also managing these and the back end of the stuff. So you get a folder for that character, and then you get a profile image, and your actual save goes there with an underline in the name and the type of the save that it is, like auto or manual. You can of course save the game at any time, so if I want, I can just press new entry and the game will get saved. And if I quickly switch over, you can see that there's a manual save now here as well. The reason I mention this is that this was actually a really difficult system to implement, but we finally have it. It's robust, it's working, you can save the game at any time you want, and yes, you will get a prompt for saving the game before you go to sleep. So when you want to sleep, there's a save and a sleep option, or just a sleep option.
will time be paused in menus?
Depend on the menu. On your phone, no. On something like build mode, yes. Shop menus, yes as well.
Cool.
Basically anything that is super contextual, like the actual phone that is part of the world, no, it will not get paused for anything. But menus that are more just menus, yeah, those will pause the game. So another thing that we've added, if you guys notice, is this camera option. If you click on it, you get a whole camera that you can open up and take photos of anything that you want. So I'm just gonna take a photo of this. Gonna take a photo of, I don't know, this area, and and we can close it up. But the cool thing is now I have a Photos app on my phone, and if you click on it, you get all the photos that you've taken. And this works the same way this Apple iOS does. So you have your photos in collections depending on the season. So year one spring is going to have its own photos, and then you're going to have year one summer, year one autumn. And when you click on one, again, you have a very familiar system of looking at images. This took a lot of time to program, but here it is. You can zoom in and out, you can scroll, you can delete the image, and yes, you can set it as your wallpaper. So if I click on that, applied wallpaper, and now I have a new wallpaper. If I close this, open it again, new wallpaper.
So this is something that Rainy implemented that we got kind of really excited about. So if you look, the big phone background, anything that you do on the big phone is going to match on the phone being held in the player's hand, which is a small thing, but just really cool.
Yeah, so yeah, you guys can see exactly what's going on that screen and this screen. So if I just open Records app, there you go. It's literally one-to-one.
Can you drop photos in the screenshot directory to have non-game images show up in-game?
Currently, no. But I'm thinking of implementing that. The images, however, do go into the same save folder. So if you go into the save folder, you have a photos folder in there now that you can open up, and you can literally look at the images as PNG files. We might do it so that it's also reversible.
How many photos will you be able to save?
Unlimited amount currently. On PC at least, I can confirm with you guys that it is unlimited. When we go to something like Switch, I'm not sure. There might be limitations over there that are not available on PC, but on PC I can confirm there's no limitations. You can go ahead and take photos of NPCs. Like Cat here is struggling with that tree, so let's go help her. I don't know why characters really struggle with trees, but I'm gonna go here and quickly snag a photo of Cat.
There was like unlimited power, unlimited phone storage.
And so, yes, you can go grab that photo of Cat that you took, and yes, you can set it as your wallpaper. If you guys noticed, there's also an option for adding a waypoint on your camera. So if I open the camera and I zoom in on a section of the map, and I don't know what it is there, like I'm like, oh, that shop looks cool over there, I can right click to place a waypoint. So let's right click over there, and then you guys can see there's a waypoint that's been added to the world. You guys can see it by this beam that shoots up to the sky, but also if you look at the mini-map, you can see there's a little pin that shows up. This is very much under work. currently they don't differentiate by color, which is something Breath of the Wild did that I loved. So we're going to implement the same situation so that you can put different colored waypoints on the map, and you can actually open up the full map when it's implemented and put these waypoints as well, and you will know exactly what you're trying to go to. The drone has got some upgrades, so if we go into build mode, of course you get the drone, but the drone works a little bit different now. If you guys see, a drone used to always open build mode, but that's not the case anymore. Drone comes with multiple functionalities. So currently, if you look at the top of the screen, you can see I'm on the 1 option, which is just free drone mode, that you can just like move around and stuff. If you click on 2, you will go into build mode, which then you can place any item from the build mode over here. This is still, again, very much under work, so that's why these panels are empty. And if I go to 3, yes, the drone does come with a camera that you can move around and take photos with. So I can, if I want, I can take an aerial shot of the town area, and that's done. And that little pin, by the way, shows where the player is when you're in the drone.
I just want you guys to know that we actually still have a lot of stuff to add to the drone. There's going to be more.
You asked about adding bugs and stuff to the game that you can take photos of. Yes, there's going to be a whole collection system around bugs and birds and animals that you should take photos of. So let's open the phone. I go to build mode, which is just should be called drone. I left it there, so have to fly back to the farm. So it's getting dark actually, so I'm just going to quickly get in with the build system. So the build system now allows you guys to move things around. Of course, there's going to be an intent from the start, but now we actually implemented it. So if I move with my drone and if I'm in the select mode over there, I can go ahead and grab this coop, move it there, and everything else that is underneath it or inside it, we can also destroy them if we want to, of course. So for cows to be bought, I was going to model a barn today, but we couldn't actually finish the model in time, so there's no barn, I'm sorry. So they're just gonna have to be out in the open. It's getting really dark actually. That's a beautiful scene though.
So I'm gonna answer another question real quick. They're talking about the range and if the drone will be able to come back to you and stuff. The range from where you're at is not going to be very far. It's pretty much just gonna be right above you. But yeah, there will end up being some kind of animation where it like goes inside your backpack, I think.
Yes. So you can hold the retrieve button. If you hold the escape button, it will get retrieved back into your backpack. If you just press it, it'll stay where it is. That is the plan for it anyway. We're going to add some cow beds before we can buy some cows, and we already have some chicken beds over there, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. So there we go, cow bed, and we'll add 3 maybe. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3. So for cows to be able to be purchased, you need a cow bed. We're not giving you the restrictions of having to create a coop or a barn that has a set number of animals. You can put as many cow beds or as many chicken beds as you want. There will probably be a limitation on console though, I'm sorry. But on PC, no limitations. You can have as many animals as you want, really. We're really optimizing the game in a way that you can have hundreds of animals with no noticeable performance impact. For cows, however, and every other farm animal, they need 2 types of resources to just live and everything. So they're gonna need shelter, as well as that, they're going to need food and water. So I'm gonna get an animal feeder. It's just for the food, and I'm gonna put an animal waterer as well. We'll just put them right in front of it. And the chicken beds over there actually don't have a water source as well. So I'm going to put a poultry water as well, put it over there, and I'm gonna make a hose as well over here so that I can fill the water for the chickens when they need water. So that's that done. Let's get out of the build mode.
Just resources. Building's only going to cost resources. If you want to use money to go buy resources to save yourself time, that is an option. But no, you're not going to have a certain amount of money in order to go hire the town carpenter to come build your... No, you just get to do it yourself.
Let's just skip today.
Will we be able to pet the cows? Of course you'll be able to pet the cows.
Yeah.
Will there be horses to ride? Yes, there will be, but not in the way that you think. They will not be a means of transportation. We have bikes, mopeds, and cars for that. Horses will primarily be pets. Can you build all the objects from the start, or you have to unlock them? You're going to have to unlock a lot of different things. You're going to have to get different blueprints and crafting things. It's just all available right now because it's the demo.
Right, so let's try to fill these up before I buy the animals. So I already have some hay. I can just fill it in, and you guys can see the hay kind of go up. And this one is a water trough, and of course the way water works in SunnySide is with the hose. So I'll just go ahead and grab the hose, and I just spray some water inside this trough. And you can see the water level actually rise up inside the trough, as well as the little icon for it.
Hose hype.
we're gonna really advertise the hose, trust me. But I can fill their water at least, and you can see the water going up again. There it is, lovely. You can actually see it in there. Now.
All right. Oh, sorry. We have a new request, and I'm gonna say that this is totally possible, and we should totally do it. When the cows are laying down in the pasture, can you go lay down next to them and cuddle them?
Oh, yeah, sure. That'll be animation hell, but sure.
Literally no reason not to.
Absolutely. Right. Gabe is here. We're gonna buy some chickens from him. And no, cows, sorry. So we have the option to buy chickens, calves, and cows. Usually chicks are an option as well, but we don't have them all yet. So let's just buy a calf. And name. Muffin. That was the first one. Right. Let's go ahead and buy a chicken as well. Hazel.
Hazel's good. Oh, look at those portraits. Those are so good, Rainy.
Yeah, this is huge shout out to Ren. He's done an amazing job making these models. I'll call him Nugget because I love Nugget. I always no one Nugget. I can actually buy a cow as well, like a fully grown cow as well. So
yeah,
give me another one.
That's Daisy.
Bread. Yes.
Bread's all good.
Right, I just have to go sleep for Gabe to deliver my animals tomorrow. So the way storage works in the game is that you're not gonna have a wooden chest. It doesn't make sense. A wooden chest wouldn't exist in a modern, RPG. The way storage works in the game is that you have cardboard boxes that you will get from your deliveries, or you can buy them as well if you want in bulk. Or you can have yourself a nice little plastic storage box like down here. So cardboard box, I can just put one down there, and plastic box, just put another one down there. But when you open one of these, you get a little menu with your actual inventory in there. You can right click to do a split of a stack. You can just type in as much as you want, really. And yeah, you can put the items in there. You can name the box. I think this is a pretty helpful one, so you can just call this one like resources or something like that. And whenever we close this, that box is now named that. This is super helpful when you have a storage room in the game and you want to know exactly what is in what. You can just come in here and then see, okay, that one's resources, this one's just called plastic box. That was a little thing I just wanted to mention. It's a tiny system that is super necessary, but it's not really revolutionary, so to speak. Right, we'll go to sleep. We get animals. So here they are, the cows. They have already... Where's the food? Let's just fill this up. So they're drinking some water, as they do. There's still some water in there, so they're just having some water. Lovely. And we got some chickens as well. I think they just have their food. Oh,
they look so good.
Oh, I forgot to give them food. Oh, I'm so sorry. They're gonna be angry at me. So is Hazel. So petting them is an option, but there's no animation for it yet. But we're definitely going to add one. And yeah, you guys can see the cows over there. That one just actually sat down, and he's having a nap.
Oh, they're so cute.
I wanted to take a photo of Muffin before it stood up.
I'm sorry, these questions are just piling in. Will our phones send us notifications when the things need to be refilled with food? Eventually.
Yes, it's an upgrade that you can get, yeah.
Will the cows have animations from turning around and go another direction? Yes. Actually, funny story. So if you guys saw our Twitter, there was a GIF of cows that Rainy set to a cute little music video, and he was trying to make it while I was watching. I think Ren was in there too, and he kept like setting up the picture, and then the cow would run away before he could take it.
So another thing that I actually remember we haven't mentioned since last stream is in the build mode again, vertical items. And currently those come in the form of lighting that you can put up. So we have a bunch of them, like the wall lamps and whatnot. And there's a snap to surface option that you can click on, and it will snap it to the wall that you're trying to put it on. Doesn't always work, but there we go. And yeah, I can place those down and then go ahead, go close to them and actually deposit the items and build them. And yeah, those will turn on at night. Eventually there will be an option for you to turn them on always, or turn them off, or just put them on auto mode, which that means they just come on at night.
Will there be predators for the animals? Yes. I'm not telling you what they're going to be, but I will tell you they will not be foxes or snakes, but there will be predators. Essentially, you are going to have to put your animals in something if you want them to be safe. Do you get your resources back if you destroy or move stuff? If you move stuff, you just move it. It's no big deal. If you destroy it, you're going to get some stuff back, but it's going to be in the form of like plastic or metal that you then have to reprocess, because that's just painfully realistic. Wolves. Gosh, you guys, stop guessing. Yes, there will be wolves. Well, the chickens eat bugs. They're not sure if we'll have an animation for them eating bugs, but it's kind of the same thing.
They just kind of peck, really.
Yeah, they're going to be pecking at the ground. It's going to be similar to with the cows, where the food you're giving them is actually more supplemental, and then they're going to be more like free range. If you let them out, which you probably should.
Matthew's here, by the way.
Hey, Matt. Matt's our.
We're just going to show you guys.
Composer.
Yeah, Matt, we were actually just going to show the summer track in just a minute, so don't go anywhere.
Will animals cause damage to buildings? Probably not. A lot of people really want building damage from weather, from animals, from all kinds of things. Frankly, we just don't want to do it. It's another thing that's just a little too realistic, so we're probably just going to stay away from it. Will the predators be part of combat? No. If you have a dog, do they defend? Will you guys stop guessing all of this stuff? Dang it! Thought I was being all creative. Yes, if you have a dog, it is going to chase away the predators. So all of the pets that you have are going to have a purpose on your farm. Most of them are going to be negating negative effects.
We're going to play you guys the summer track, but keep those questions coming. And Fem, keep track of them, please. I'm so sorry.
Oh no. Gotta tell the story real quick. They got really excited about the whistling. And so Matt sent the original clip for the summer theme, and it was good. We loved it. We told him, it needs a couple more things. And so he went back to keep working on it. And then he told us later that he played it for his wife, and she listened to it and she was like, it needs whistling. And so he went back and recorded himself whistling and added it to the track. And so shout out to Matt's wife for making an expert art call, because that whistle just pulls it all together.
It just gives the whole summer vibes really nicely.
So I'm going to answer some quick questions. Are we going to have cats to fight off rats? Yes. Can we make dung fertilizer? Kind of. Please tell the cow that I've officially named her Mjolnir and I love her. That was hilarious. I had to just say that. That was Jay. Cooper Cow also asked if we can make fertilizer. Yes. And then will there be different tracks for different weather? Kind of, yeah. You
might think we're done. No, we have new characters to show. Yeah, so before we do that, I'm going to give a big shout out to Ken and Cherry for doing the models for some of the crops. And it's just amazing to be working with so many really talented people.
Marigold. Not bad.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, not magnolias.
And then in Blender, he gave us like a few different stages of chive. And if you guys remember, we were going with a 3-stage situation. So when you plant it, and then the midpoint, and then the last point. But we're changing that. We're going for a 5-stage system. It shows you the growth a lot more in depth. It'll be a lot nicer to look at. And yes, it will be more modeling on our end, but I think it'll be a good addition to the game. Before we carry on with the characters, I wanted to show you guys a snippet of the language that we're developing for SunnySide. But this is what it looks like. It's the language of the... Can I say the word?
Yeah, you can say it.
Okay, it's called the language of the ancients. It is being developed by Dante. It is, it's completely custom. Even the grammar, even just the way the language is structured. Even the number system is very different to human system. So lots and lots of lore and stuff for you guys to figure out. And we're never going to give you guys a direct, exact script of what is the translation like. So kind of need to figure that out on your own.
So just a little background about it. It is a mixture of Chinese, Japanese, ancient Japanese, and Sanskrit is what he's pulling inspiration from. So there's also, I want to give Ken his due success. So he's put out garlic spinach chives for us. He's currently working on lemon trees. He's also mostly modeled one of the ancients. So he's been doing a lot of work. We're just not showing you guys yet. But I did want to give him a little bit of shout out because he's been working really hard.
Have we ever showed Sebastian?
He got a sketch and then your computer died.
So here is Sebastian. Right, he has a completely new design because we redesigned everything because everything was Vroid for our prototype. Yeah, he's absolutely romanceable. He's a writer and he runs the cafe.
So I got cut off last time when I was talking about it. Sebastian works at the cafe, which his mother owns. He is a poet, wanted to be a writer, and kind of left his life behind so that he could come and help his mom with her business. He is a little all over the place with color. His brain is a little tends to wander, and he's a little distracted for different reasons than Hero. But yeah, so he's got his cute little pencil behind his ear.
We have Natalie for you guys, and these are the very, very, very first look at the character. So here's Natalie.
So so Nat is the older sister. Kat is the kind of rebellious younger sister. She is the older responsible sister. Very traditional, very to the point, very organized, respectful. Yes, we did give her the dead mother hairstyle in anime only because it just suited her so well. We wanted to give her a hairstyle that matched her personality. So we wanted to be something that was practical while also still being very beautiful. So the inspirations for her visuals, some of it was pulled from Food Wars. If you kind of look at her face, she has a little bit of resemblance to Eren Inakari. The braid was pulled from another anime. The clothes were actually pulled from actual clothing that you can buy in Japan. So I think she came out absolutely beautifully. Big shout out to Kaori for just doing an incredible job.
The spree never ends. We have another character. And I'm excited about this one. This is actually Fem's original character. She's really excited about him. And this is Zander. And
so
Fem,
pretty.
go ahead. I mean, he's your character. Fill us in.
If you guys have been paying attention to the Devstreams a long time ago, we were talking about how we needed to have a mill in order to mill flour to, fit some mechanics of the game. We need somebody to work at the mill. And so I just kind of got hit with this idea that we wanted to have a really big, strong, masculine, scary dude who likes to make tiny cakes. So that was how the idea was born for Zander. The name is actually, we pull from my boyfriend, but my boyfriend doesn't look like this though. So he is ex-military, he's American. He's only been in SunnySide for about a year. He has a beautiful tattoo on his calf as a dedication to his parents. So you'll find out more about why he's in SunnySide, why he's moved here,
and this is his tattoo, by the way.
Stuff.
Kind of the...
Oh, his tattoo is so good.
It's kind of hard to see in the background, but yeah. And this is his, one of the other outfits that he has. Yep.
We're going to have, I think, at least 4 black-skinned characters in the game. And it was just really important to us that we have a good number of them, and then we do them justice, and that they look relatable and natural, and they're not stereotypes, and they're not, just that character that's thrown in to meet a color need. We've put in a lot of effort to make sure that they look the way that we want them to. If you look, he's wearing a diver's watch, which is really awesome. Can you change the NPC outfits when you marry them? Kind of, yeah. You'll be able to. The outfits are going to change a lot throughout the whole game. So. Yes. And the reason he's wearing an apron is because he works at the mill. So I'm so proud of this guy. It's really cool seeing my own original character. And then the next one is actually our first citizen character.
Yeah. So if you guys remember, if you remember in Kickstarter we had that super high tier, which was like $1,000 or something, for add your own characters to SunnySide, and 5 people got that, including Destiny, Rytrix, Rin. Who else got it?
Mm-hmm.
Dubious,
and then also Dubious
Mez, of course, yeah. Oh, I love Mez. He does amazing photography work. You guys should follow him. And we have the very first character that Rytrix wanted, and his name is Fuyukaze. And this is his concept. There you go. So
he is part of a 4-member family who lives in Japan. He is half Japanese and half Ghana. Thank you, Ryder. Yeah. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Then they moved back to Japan after his mom's parents died. So that's why they're there. They've been there for, I think, about 10 years. He's a college student. He's going to school studying music and video game design. He wants to design music for video games. All of the character design was pretty much done by WriterX with some input from the artists. And then the writers went in and helped them design the backstory and stuff like that. So it's been a real collaboration over the last month or two between us to make sure that we do them justice. We don't want them to just be like these crazy, just dumb inserts. We want them to feel alive. So what's really cool about WriterX's character, though, is he actually spawned the idea for 3 other characters that we really needed. So it just kind of worked out really well. All the color was all WriterX. He chose the hair, the eyes. That was all him. And Kaori, obviously, because she's amazing.
We have another thing to show you guys. So we're done with the human characters, but if you guys remember, we had a live stream on Discord. I modeled basically Sparky on that stream, and if you guys missed it, here's his model in just Windows. His hands and arms might change, so that's still under work, but we decided to go for a completely new design for him because hovering TV is overdone and not very the type of character that we want to have in SunnySide anyway. All of the robots in SunnySide are, you know, inspired by nature and stuff. They're not really inspired by humans, so that's why it would make perfect sense for us to have Sparky as a fox. I know it kind of looks like Tails. That might have just been in the back of my head being a huge Sonic fan, but there you go. He has 9 tails actually that works as his fan that he hovers with. It moves at the back there, down and up to kind of move him around, and he has various sensors around, and he is going to play a huge role in both the story and the gameplay. He's going to add gameplay features to the game. He's going to add story stuff to the game because he's going to be with you throughout the whole game. He's going to hover around next to you and just be part of the whole journey. Similar to, you know, companion characters that we have in other games, we thought a companion character was really necessary for SunnySide, and we're so glad that it is going to be Sparky. And of course, he has portraits. Here's a sketch that Kaori has done of his different portraits that he might have in the game. Is he an ancient? Yes, he is.
Yes, he is. I will perish for this robot. Can you hug Sparky?
I would say so. I would say so. Yeah.
What's really kind of beneficial to us as developers is public displays of affection are just not normal in Japan, which makes animating a lot simpler for us. So you probably won't get the outright affection that you would expect from more Americanized stuff. We're probably going to go more Japanese themed. So it'll probably be more like leaning your head against something, the hand on top of the head, much more simple but deliberate acts of affection.
So does Sparky need to charge? Yes, that's why he goes to sleep at night. It is kind of like Horizon Zero Dawn, but the past was more advanced and present. It's a very different story. So
very different story.
When you guys play it, you guys are just gonna go like, what? I'm actually quite surprised, and not to like sound cocky or anything. This is the kind of story that a Japanese studio would come up with, not a Western one. So I'm really glad we came up with this whole thing. And definitely we pulled inspirations from what made those games great. Games again like Chrono Trigger, Persona, or Nier Automata. Those were all great inspirations for the direction to take with the story. And as much as I don't want to give away from the lore, it is deep and it's going to be very engaging. I just hope that we can implement it well.
Oh yeah, it's a cute idea having the loading wheels from like Mac or something come up, but he is distinctly separate from any kind of human technology. So that's kind of the main reason we didn't want him to look like a TV, because it just didn't make sense to the lore. But he will have the cute little, we couldn't get away from the cute little eyes. Will Sparky equal a drone upgrade? Maybe. Friendship ended with Gabe, Sparky's new best friend.
I'm glad you guys are really liking Sparky, because he's going to be a huge part of the story, and so it's important for you guys to actually like him. Right, so what are we doing next? So we are finishing the streamer demo for the next few weeks, so that's why there's not going to be another stream, another dev stream before the game's out in the hands of streamers. Please be kind to our game. The demo will go out in waves of to different streamers, and Not everybody might agree with this, but we decided to give the game earlier to smaller streamers, to, you know, coming from an indie background and just a super small background. I remember when I launched SunnySide's Discord and I went around asking other servers to promote it, and everybody were like, dude, I mean, understandably, they were like, dude, you don't have anything to show, so we're not going to promote you. So we're trying to do 180 on that. So we want to give the game to streamers that are smaller, to give them a chance to kind of grow with SunnySide, and then the game will slowly go to bigger streamers with time. It'll be a very short kind of period of time though, so don't worry. Your favorite streamer is going to get it quite quickly.
Yeah, so the smaller streamers will probably have 3 to 5 days to make all their content, and then we're basically rolling it out like less than 500 and then less than 1,000, and then we'll probably do like 1 to 10,000, and then 10,000 and up will probably be groups. Doc, because of all of his amazing support, is going to get it first, just because that's just our reward. So a huge thank you again to Doc for all of his support.
It will also ship on GOG, absolutely, because I hate DRM. So the game will absolutely come out in GOG, and you guys can get it DRM free in there if you like. The engine is Unreal Engine 4. Hopefully we're soon going to be upgrading to 5. Yes.
Yeah.
So what else we're going to do is implement the actual main character that we talked about with the sliders and stuff. I really hope that the problem with that is that it comes with so many problems that it will spawn with animations and stuff. So we're trying to really get it right without things looking weird. In the end, there will probably still be some, rough around the edges, but we're gonna polish it as much as possible. And what I'm saying, by the way, is about the streamer demo, not the final version of the game. Of course, that's gonna be super polished, don't worry about that. But the streamer demo might still be rough around the edges, especially in the animation area, because we still don't have a full-time animator yet. More social sim. That's one of our main focuses in the next few weeks, is social sim, adding the cutscene system, so you can have cutscenes with different camera angles, different animations that play throughout the cutscenes. You can expect a very, again, Persona-esque an anime type cutscene system that has different camera angles, not too much motion, but you get that kind of dynamism from the camera angles and stuff. So we're going to do some friendship and affection calculations, and yes, friendship and affection are two separate things in SunnySide. You don't have one heart bar that fills up, you have a friendship bar that fills up and an affection bar that fills up, and they work separately from each other, sometimes in tandem, sometimes separately. Again, we'll fill you guys in with this. It's a fully realized system, it's just not implemented yet.
I just want to say it here now, absolutely, definitely, you will not be romancing or befriending people by giving them tons of gifts. It will be a function of the system, but it will not be the entire system. It's going to read a lot more like a slice of life anime with character development, and that's how you grow closer, and a lot less I buy their friendship.
Speaking of which, we're adding dialogue selections. We're adding little icons to the dialogue options to show you guys what a dialogue option will entail, because I still to this day will not forget the day in Dragon Age that I was trying to be friends with a character and I ended up romancing him, and my character ended up gay, which was fine, but I really did want to romance somebody else and I was sad. So we're definitely going to add those little icons.
Issue you have with Garrus in Mass Effect, yeah, where if you like try to still be friends with him while you're still trying to romance him, it just completely locks him out for the entire rest of the game, and you have to go back to the beginning like I did and re-romance. It was painful, so not letting that happen.
Build mode is another bit that we're still focusing on, and it is placing walls down, because I don't like the way a lot of games these days go lazily about build systems and you just place walls one by one. That is tedious as hell. So we're gonna go with more of a Sims-like system where you can draw the walls and the fences that you want to have. You still need to, deposit items to them to craft them, but that will be the placement system for those things. And another full system that we're working on is the cooking. So we're going to add item degradation, especially specifically for food items. So food items, all of them will have an expiry date, and they will expire if you just leave them in a box. So we're going to add a fridge and a freezer that will allow you to keep items for longer. And then we're also working on an indoor kitchen where you can have a cutting board then you will have a lot more cooking options. And then you can use the grill and the cutting board together to make some amazing food items. Cooking is a huge favorite gameplay mechanic of mine, so we're gonna spend some time on it. And we're gonna add a lot more finished food. Currently we just have baked potatoes, so trust me, we're gonna have a couple of nice, good looking food items for you to cook and eat. And to complement that, we're gonna add a very robust stamina system that doesn't just go up by eating. It's kind of like Valheim, where you have slots that you can eat up food, or even Red Dead, I would say, Red Dead 2. Don't worry, it's not too complicated. It will all be very clear to you guys and very simple, but it just makes a lot more sense and makes food a much more interesting item. We're adding a lot more crops and baby chickens, which Ren is going to model. Keep an eye on our server. So yeah, keep an eye on the announcements to see if he's going to stream it and if you guys can watch it. Other than that, we're adding the recycle machine little thing to complete the whole crafting system of the game. And you guys can expect to watch the game on your favorite streamer's channel at the end of August. That's everything. I'm more than excited to play you guys the Resolve theme. You guys been listening to the Summer Night theme. Before I end things, Fem, do you have anything you want to say?
So just ask whatever we haven't gotten to yet. If you think there's something really important, feel free to message me on Discord, or you can hop into our Discord and ask questions and make suggestions there. I dropped a link to all of our socials, so go follow all the things. Come and hang out with us in the Discord. It's a pretty awesome community. We just hit 1,500 members the other day. Again, huge thanks to Doc.
Yes, absolutely.
And yeah, I pretty much spread out all of the sneaks across all of our different socials, so everything kind of gets something a little bit different. So to kind of just tailor to that system. So more music stuff will be on TikTok, cute gifts are going to be on Twitter. So I would just kind of keep an eye out for stuff.
All right. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Fem, anything to go over? Any questions to go over?
Will the character on the title screen change? I'm gonna let you talk about that real quick.
Oh god, you guys are gonna spoil everything. So the title screen, yes, of course. So the title screen will have multiple weathers. Actually, I should have showed you that to you guys. Depending on the weather, your character will be standing under the tree or under the house, under the shelter. But the more characters that you talk to and unlock their events and whatnot, they will be added to the title screen. And the game will count for that with no matter what saves you have. So if you unlocked every character in one save, it will still show up. So the more characters you've talked to, the more characters you have on the title screen. Yeah.
I just want to say thanks everybody. This was an awesome, successful stream. You guys are great.
Yes. So. Thank you guys for showing up. It was awesome. Follow all of our socials. They're all going to be posted in a link in the chat in a second. And yeah, come hang out with us in Discord, and I will catch you all in the next Devstream. Take care and bye-bye.